amazingly, we're almost at around 45 minutes here. I'd like to have an opportunity just to go around to everybody and say, if you have some holiday wish or a prediction that you wish to go on the record for 2024, would love to hear from you, or some final blessing to everybody as we head on into the holidays. And I think I've got to start with Matt, because I hear you have a Death Star mug with you. So got to see that, my friend.
Nice.
It actually holds
operational mug.
Tea, and it helps me take on the universe. It take over everything. No, I gotta say that a lot of connections, a lot of people that I speak with over this year, we're starting to feel a little burnt out. I think there's a lot of people who are running as fast as they can to try to get where they need to go, and I would say, take some time, spend it with your family, spend it with your friends, and take time to slow down. Because I feel like that mental recharge, you really kind of notice it when you do stop for a second and smell the roses, smell the Death Star. So that would be my suggestion and my push for 2024.
That's a lovely message, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, mine is going to be a little bit different, I think. We tend to get a little bit bogged down because we focus a lot on process and development and ROI and the marketing aspects of community. But my biggest wish, especially during the holidays and going into the early year, is that we take some time to return to associational life. It's one thing to be connected with your family for the holidays. That's very, very important. But especially for those who do not have that access to family, LGBTQ people, etc., a return to associational life would be good. Go find a place where you can hang out. Those third spaces that we've started to ignore in our modern days, my wish is that we can see those come back, see those spaces thrive, and we can gain those connections again. That's my wish.
I truly love that message. As an active Rotarian, interested in my local community and seeing people supported and connected. I feel that need so strongly, that we need that associational life. I like the term that you put to that. That's amazing.
So I will jump in, because then after I will have to go fetch my son. So for me, I will say for 2024, I will say less AI, but more AI. The first AI is more like artificial intelligence, and the second AI is more amplifying our impact, like connecting physically, and how we all together as a community, not behind screens, all of that, but we meet physically. And I think someone was talking about the human connection, and that is something that today AI cannot do. I think it's Adrian before. And for me, really, I want to see in 2024 that we meet more physically and we amplify each other's impact in our community. So this is really what I would like to see happen in 2024.
That's really lovely. I absolutely agree. And I'm so glad you're able to join us. Hope we haven't made you late for picking up your son, but have a wonderful holiday, my friend. We'll see you again soon.
Everyone said it really well. I mean, to spend time and disconnect and recharge, I think, is really important. It's been one heck of a year, but I think that feels like that every year, right? When we get to the end of every year, it's like, that was one heck of a year. But I think this year was really a weird year from the fact that, not that COVID has gone away, but I think this is the first full year where it kind of has got a bit back to normal in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very, but there's still that memory of a lot of stuff as well. So it's just been a roller coaster of sorts.
It has been.
So yeah. Hopefully people have, take some time. I said in my book about it too, like you need to take care of yourself to take care of your community. So if you don't take care of yourself, it'll bleed into that. So it's just so important that people take the time to recharge and step away, and you need to do it.
Absolutely.
It'll come out in other ways you don't intend it to. short-temperedness, snarkiness,
What are
abruptness.
you talking about, man?
I've seen it happen. That's why. Firsthand. So.
Yeah. I love that. Vinny just put in the chat. I love that quote. You must first be selfish to be effectively selfless. That's wonderful. Yeah. That's great. Well, we're winding down here. I just wanted to say on a personal note, it's been a crazy year. I'm super grateful for the ever deepening partnership I have with Ilker for Talent Led, the friendship and the partnership and professional association that I've gained from the Community Leaders Institute. You've been working really hard, to get that world off the ground, Adrian, and appreciate all your efforts that you've done on that front, and happy to be a supporter of it. And I'm also celebrating the Community Consultants Collective and the good that we've been able to build there. It's taken us a year to come to consensus about creating that organization for freelancers and independent consultants in the community space. And we finally have a board forming up that'll be formally launching in January. And so expect to hear more from us on that front as well. But Ilker, any parting shots? Anything you want to say here as we kind of wrap things up?
Well, I mean, I echo your sentiments about what we want to do for talent communities. So the fun thing about talent communities, of course, it's for Todd and I, is a business in a way, or is an opportunity we're exploring. But the reason why we embarked on it is because it really recruitment is really something that has been conducted with the principles of last century. And it's Adrian actually put out some really wonderful pieces recently in the public about recruitment being on the both sides of the table at some point. It's broken. It just needs to be changed. It just needs to be updated, very, very urgently. So, and it affects people's lives. We've all been job seekers. We've all been stakeholders of the talent or recruitment process at some point. So that needs to be changed. But there's something else I wanted to say, as Adrian was talking about AI. So community, for me anyway, it has always been about learning. And here's a top tip for anyone following. It's not about, maybe the best use or best deployment of community is not going to be about deploying AI elements in your community, but putting together communities to learn more about AI. At the end of the day, it's an experimental thing. It's developing at breakneck speed. And I think that community is the best place to discuss and then move forward with any sort of research. I'm doing a Venia here, with research and everything. But I think it's very, very important that we have a shared understanding and knowledge of what's happening around the world in this very interesting field. And I think it is now time to deploy the power of community to learn about it and anything else really. So use communities, lead communities to teach, to learn, to distribute information. And I think it's going to be the start of something amazing if you started to do that, whether you're a professional or not.
Can I jump in on that too? I love that. One of the things that I struggle when I talk about the AI thing is in the community industry, as community builders, we live in an industry about contradiction. It's our jobs to figure out what people think and what they do. One of the biggest, most inherent flaws of democracy is if you give everyone a voice, not everyone is going to agree. That conflict is just how we as community builders recognize importance. And when it comes to AI, that's going to be a little bit more difficult because it definitely does not handle contradiction very well. So I think putting a community on that back end in order to help AI grow and develop in that regard makes a lot more sense than being like, how can AI take some of the work off of us? We should probably ask, how can we as community builders make AI more functional so that we don't end up tokenizing social capital, which I think is the biggest fear that I have for AI in general, tokenizing social capital. And I think that's a great way of accomplishing it, Ilker.
I love that. I don't know of a nicer note to be able to end things on. It's hopeful but directive, and some ways that we can do good as community builders, community professionals going forward. Before this session gets too long, I think I just kind of want to wrap things up and thank you all for jumping in and sharing your wisdom and your goodwill to everybody here at the waning hours of 2023, and I'm looking forward to working with you all and knowing you all better in the year ahead in 2024.